Yes, guys, we can move forward. Remember that whatever that we are talking about is also like under CCNA. So when we're gonna do the revision for CCNA, you aren't gonna do it again. We are going just to jump. 1.5, describe common network applications and protocols, right? When you go to the exam preparation guide, you are going to see it here. We are here. I think is the last one on 1.0, standard and concept, right? So yeah, we are going to describe some common network applications, and we are going to define some of the protocols. But number one, they want you to understand this, the difference between TCP and UDP. So this is what we are going to do like today. Let's start first with the difference between what we call TCP and UDP, right? I think I can use a table. It's gonna be much easier for you to understand. Yeah. So one side is TCP and this side is UDP, right? From the meaning, TCP means transport, control, yeah, protocol, right? And UDP means user datagram protocol, right? From the definitions like point of view. Right? Because sometimes they can just like ask you what UDP stand for, just for you to pick up, right? TCP transport control protocol, UDP user datagram protocol, right? So two of them are the transport protocol, right? The similarities. When we talk about the similarities, they are transport like protocol, like two of them. Number two again, what can be found, will be found. especially like on the transport layer. They are working there, right? So when we're talking about similarities, those two, they are transport protocols, right? Number two, those two protocols, the TCP and the UDP, work by using the transport layer, layer 4, right? The layer 4 on the OSI model. These are the two similarities that are very, very, very common, but there are others. Now, let's talk about the differences between those two protocols. What are the differences between them for the exam, right? This one, when you go first to my document, so you're gonna see here, they're talking about like connections oriented. I will explain. Let me make it a bit bigger. Let me look a specific color for this one. And this one, it's connectionless. So when we are talking about the differences between those two, number one, you have to understand that TCP is what we call what? Connection oriented. And UDP is connectionless. What does it mean by connection oriented, right? So I will explain what does it mean by connection oriented, right? It means that we need to be connected before starting the communications, right? The communications need to be like established before the communications happened. Right? So if I have my PC, I want to send like to you a message using a TCP. For us to talk, there must be a like a media already. We have to be connected first. If we are not connected, data will never move, right? We have to be linked. We have to be connected first. You have to accept my connections, my requests. When you accept it, now we can start like talking. This is like the meaning of connection oriented, right? So we have to be connected first before us talking, before us sending or exchanging messages. The communication needs to be established first. So I would say maybe, hi, you're gonna respond, hi. Can we talk? Yes, we can. This is the meaning of connection oriented. But connectionless means that there is no need for the communication to be established. No need for the connection to be established. So if I want to talk to you, if I want to send like to you something, so I want to wait your acknowledgement. So I want to wait you to agree on that, right? There's no need for a connection like to be established when we are using UDP, right? You have also to understand this. When you are using TCP, this is a reliable communications. Reliable means there is a guarantee that your data will reach the destination. Did you understand the meaning of reliable? Yeah, TCP is reliable, right? So if I'm sending you a message using a TCP protocol or using TCP, means that there's a guarantee that my message will reach you. How will I know that? Because there's a feedback that will come from you, right? There's a feedback, right? So when you send a message, the destination host will respond, will tell you something that will show that your message has been reached, right? Very, 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 very important for the exam. If you don't know about this connection-oriented, this reliability, you're in trouble, right? So there is a feedback that has to come from the destination host. But if there is no feedback, if there is no guarantee, means that we are using UDP. So UDP is unreliable, right? There is no feedback. There is no guarantee, right? Very important, this two words. There is no guarantee and no feedback, no acknowledgement. But here, there is a guarantee and there is a feedback, right? So UDP is unreliable, right? You cannot trust it. When your communication is based on UDP, there is no assurance that your data can reach the destination, right? And you have also to understand this, right? When we are talking about UDP, no TCP, there is what we call flow control, right? But here there's what we call no flow control. Flow control means that there is a way the protocol can check the messages when it comes to size, right? TCP can have that mechanism for checking the flow of the messages that will be flowing between hosts, between computers or between devices. This is the meaning, right? There is also what we call sequencing, right? No sequencing. Sequencing means that, from the transport layer, your message will be divided in segment. There is a way you can find your message, because the way you split it, you're gonna assign specific number to every message, right? From the destination side, it's going to be very easy for you to get your message, because when you divided your messages, you're gonna assign specific numbers. Now, because of the sequencing method, you are going to be able to find your message from the destination side. Like now I got my PC, right? I wanna send a message. The transport layer will split that message in different parts. We call those parts segment, right? For every segment, I will assign a specific number. Now, when I'm gonna send those segments, when they are going to reach the destinations, the destination also will do what? Will have a mechanism to reorder and to get the original message, right? Sequencing means you're splitting the message in different parts and you assign some numbers, right? That's gonna be very easy for the destination to retrieve the message. Now, you have also to understand that you will need this TCP when you need like assurance, like in your company. When you wanna make sure that users, they can get your data, your messages, you can go for TCP, right? But TCP is very slow, right? This one is very fast, right? Why it's very slow? Because for me to talk to you, I have to request. I have to ask your permissions. No, now the time of asking you, you have to respond to, that time will be more. We are wasting time. That's why the TCP is very slow. But UDP, there is no what we call the three-way handshake. So I must greet you. You two are going to greet, or you're going to accept. And I have to ask you the permissions. Can we talk? You're going to say yes, right? So that time of exchanging messages will take this TCP to be slow, right? But because you have the flow control, means the TCP is more secure than what? Than UDP, right? You're gonna use a TCP when it comes like to emails, right? You can go for TCP because you wanna make sure that your destination received the message. But UDP, you can use it for what? Streaming videos. Voice over IP. Like guys, when you go on YouTube, right? Like YouTube uses what? UDP, right? For streaming videos, anything that we talk about voice, you have to remember that whatever that talks about voice, like images, deal with what? UDP, right? Why? Because we want speed, right? When you are receiving videos, when you are watching videos, there is no need for the YouTube guys like to know if you are receiving it or not. All right? We want speed. We don't want like to control like the error and so on, right? Any question? No, right? Those are the most important parts you have to understand for the exam. They will ask you 1 or 2 questions. What are the differences between UDP and TCP? Which one is connection like oriented, right? So make sure that you go through them. Right? Yes, now we are here. Now we're gonna talk about what? FTP, SFTP, and TFTP, right? My friend, are you studying or you are talking your own business, your own stuff? You must ask myself. FTP, SFTP, and TFTP. Right? This FTP means what? File transfer protocol. Very easy to remember. File transfer protocol, right? Very easy to remember for the exam. So this protocol will be dealing with what? Transferring files between devices, right? Right? So this protocol will be dealing with what? Transferring large amount of files. Suppose like you wanna send to your friends. You wanna send your friend 100 terabits per second, not per second, like the size of your folder. Maybe it's 100 terabits. How are you gonna send it? How are you gonna send it? You're gonna use your email address or what? Right? So you must use for like a software maybe, right? Like a software. That software can allow you to do what? But there is a software that uses file transfer protocol. Like this one. This many people using it. This FileZilla, I think so. Okay, this one. This FileZilla. This one deals with what? Will allow you to start transferring files between hosts. Because some companies are dealing only with large amount of data. Now you're gonna ask yourself, how am I gonna send 20 terabytes to my friends? You must look for like this one, this tool. This is a tool that uses what? FTP for transferring large amount of files. And guys, when you're an IT person, you cannot miss this software like on your laptop, on whatever, right? Especially Jonathan, you are hosting website. Remember that you always like upload files. It's because of FTP, you can upload files. Yeah, it also uses, yeah. Yeah, so this one is a tool for transferring files. But this tool uses what? FTP, file transfer protocol, right? Yeah, but different vendors. It's like you have iPhone, you have this, but doing the same job. Guys, did you understand about the FTP, right? You are the protocol for transferring files. There is also, now you're gonna see there is what? SFTP, right? It's the same, but that S means that it's secured, right? So S, it's a secure file transfer protocol. Means what? This protocol will add one layer, the security layer, right? So the communication will be encrypted because of the, yeah, it's not secured. Right? So it means when I'm like you're uploading files using the FTP, hackers or anybody can access your document, your files, like in clear text. But if you go for SFTP, this SFTP is secured, right? The communication is encrypted. So that S must remember you the security side of it, right? So like, suppose like you wanna send to your friend, maybe you wanna send to maybe to your neighbor 100 movies. How are you gonna do it? You must go for a file transfer, a protocol software, like this FileZilla, this one, right? You are going just like you download it, you install it, right? So what you need only like maybe the host, like IP address, you punch it, maybe it will ask you username and password for the host devices, you punch it and you are in. And you can upload the whole movie in 2 minutes, the whole 100 movies, right? So don't ask yourself, hey, how am I gonna send these things? How am I gonna do it? You must know that their file transfer protocol software or tools that can allow you to do so, right? Sometimes you can just use a browser. There's no need for you to go for a tool. or a platform that will allow you to do so. Now we're going to talk about this one, the TFTP, right? Same definitions, but the T means like trivial. The trivial. This one, you're going to use it for like local area networks, right? Yeah, the trivial file transfer like, protocol. It's only like inside your own company, right? This. So for the exam, you have to know the FTP, the SFTP, and the TFTP. And there's what we call the port number. For every computer, when I'm looking for FTP, there's a specific number that can allow me to find. When I go to the router, you wanna block the FTP, there's a number that you must use, right? There's 21, the 22, 23, let me check for like got 3 of them at the same time. FTP, FTP, SFTP, and TFTP port numbers. This one is not, I want that one that's gonna give me, yeah. SFTP, but I know that FTP, SFTP, and the T like FTP 69. So what does it mean? When you go to your router, you block port 21, means you are blocking the FTP. So FTP will never work. You always listen like, hey, the port like I've been blocked, right? Where are the port? Don't get lost. There's a physical port and the logical port. Like here we're talking about what? Logical port. So for you to identify what FTP, you can use port number 21. You see, guys, your Windows is very huge, right? Now, how Windows can talk with FTP, right? So you have to assign the FTP like a specific number. Like we call it like port 21. So when your browser wanna talk to FTP, your browser can use only the code 21, right? I would check this 21. I'm not too sure. Maybe it can be for another protocol, but these other 2, I'm very sure. Okay. Make sure that, guys, you know the differences between this one. When you see S, it means security, right? Now, let's talk about those 2. Remember that like anything you understand or you understood will be asked. And remember, you have only 2 practice questions among those 100, and especially for CCNA. So most of the questions will be theoretical. There are things that you have to explain. You have to figure out how computers are not communicating and so on. So those 2, when we are talking about them, you have to know that those 2 will be dealing with what? Web pages, right? The transfer of web pages, right? So when we're talking about like HTTP and this HTTPS, you must understand that those are the protocols that will be dealing with what? Like transferring web pages, right? Like now, you can go to Gmail, you can go to Facebook, means you are accessing the web pages. We call them the web pages. But how can you reach them like properly? How can you receive them? there must be like a protocol that do the job, like in order for you to receive them properly. And those protocols are HTTP and what HTTPS. If you go to your router, you go to firewall, you can block those HTTP and HTTPS. Means you won't want to receive the web pages, right? So HTTP means what, guys? Hypertext transfer protocol, right? They will ask you sometimes this question. But when you see the S, right? The S here means they are same definitions, but you add the secure part, right? But two of them will be dealing with what? The transfer of web pages, right? Do remember about this for your exam, right? They can ask you, like, somebody want to transfer file like securely, or maybe a web pages, you know that this must be, there's an S somewhere. So whatever that doesn't have S, you take them out, right? Because sometimes when you're answering the multiple questions, you can go by using the elimination method. You are taking the ones that are very far from the answer. You take them out. Now you're gonna remember only with those answers that will have like S. Now you start thinking about it. Right? So this one is not secured. This one, web pages will move like on clear text. Right? So when we are communicating, you are sending an email using like HTTP, means that message will be moving using what we call clear text. Your message will be in clear text. So if you are saying, hi, can we meet? That message will reach my computer the way it was. And that message will be moving like that. This is the meaning of clear text. There is no modification, right? So if you are saying hi, that word will move like that. Hi, 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 from routers to routers, until to Durban or any country, right? Because you are using the HTTP, like that protocol is not secured. There is no encryption, right? Messages are moving like in clear text. Now somebody can be in the middle of your communications. That person too can capture which word? Hi. And that person from his computer will see hi. But if you go for HTTPS, whatever that you are doing will be encrypted, right? So this is the meaning. Clear text means this. You have this PC saying hi to PC2, right? This hi will be moving here. Hi, 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 right? Why? Because you are using the clear text, clear text, clear text. So you are using the HTTP, right? Now somebody can just be sitting somewhere like here, using his own laptop. This guy also will see what? hi. This hacker will see also the same message, hi. Why? Because of there is no encryption. All right. I think it's very clear to understand the way. This is the hacker guy, right? This guy is ish. What's happened? Don't get tired. What's happened, my friend? She's tired. Ish. You must reduce the chowing. Yeah. You must reduce, my friend. Don't die. You must reduce so that you're gonna come with energy. You must tell him this is the study time, study period. Okay, now let's say now you are using like HTTPS, the same message, right? When your message will be moving, right? This hi will be changed maybe to 1, 0, 2, like A, B, like X. You see? Why? Because you are using the HTTPS. Right? You understand? The HTTPS will do what? Will encrypt the communications. You must have the right key, like in order for you to decrypt, to de-encrypt the communications, right? So those two computers, they are going to share the key to open that message, right? This is how the encryption works, right? So if you don't have that key, you won't gonna de-encrypt this message for you to understand the message, for you to understand. So for this guy to understand this guy needs to de-encrypt. But because this guy will have a key, this guy will know the key. Like maybe Calvin, you are sending me the message and you are telling me like, okay, the key is what? The key is 1, 2, 3. So when I'm gonna receive the message, I have to apply the 1, 2, 3, like in order for me to see what? The high. Right? This is how it works. So you, the way you are sitting here, you are receiving nicely the messages. This is what is happening. Like on the background. This is how the computers are communicating. This is the way the HTTP will do. Right? So those two computers are going to exchange the key. And because of that key, they can understand the communications. But when this bad guy will come, the bad guy can try to intercept the communications, right? You go maybe by the beach, like you go in town, you are trying to access some people communications because there is Wi-Fi there. Like even here, like Tuli, she always plug her laptop, right? Means what? You are going inside that network. You're already a member of that network. You can do whatever you like when you got skills, right? So one guy will be sitting here with his own laptop. So he's trying now to understand this message. This guy will see this message. This guy will never see like, hi. This guy will see this one. This is the message the guy will be seeing. Now, this guy must have what? Skills, right? Cybersecurity skills or hacking skills in order to do what? To de-encrypt this code, to understand like my man, even if you encrypt it. Yeah, this is high, right? So this guy must have also the key, but he doesn't have the key. You understand? For him to have the key, those are the hacking now. Those are the guys who got skills now. But you can use the simple tools. This guy can decrypt the communications by using simple tools, right? So I will capture the communication from my laptop. I will see this one, 102A and whatever. No, I have to decode it, right? But if it's too long, it will take this guy many hours, many days. That way you need what? Longer key. Longer key, more hours for hackers to de-encrypt. But if you use a shorter one, there are algorithms that the guy will use that can crack, right? So, but when your password is very long, your ciphertext, this one we call it like ciphertext, the changed message, right? But we're gonna see it more later on, right? So this is how the HTTPS works. Do remember all this. So, and the port number for HTTP, it's port 80. For HTTPS, I think it must be 443, but I'll check again. You must check for me too. Right? Let me check. I'm already old. I cannot memorize everything. HTTPS. Hey, what? HTTPS port number. Yeah, 443. Right? You know, guys, somebody can just hack your phone, go and disable. Which port number? 443. Means whatever that you've been doing there, whatever that you're gonna start doing, you will be obliged like to use the HTTP, the one that is not secured, the one that is not encrypted. All right. Guys, those concepts are very easy, right? Just know them for the exam. There's no going left and right. They will ask you some questions. Which port number for HTTP? Which protocol deal with web pages? Right? Maybe I can give you a scenario, like someone wanna send files like securely. Which protocol? Someone wanna maybe send and receive web pages like securely. Which protocol? All those this is how they can play with questions, right? Now we are going to move to the next part. I think it's this one. Where is it? DHCP and DNS. Hey, but I'm feeling also tired, guys, but I have to finish. You're gonna go home because you got money. She's gonna chow. No money. That's why I'm talking about him. No excuses. She will chow. Just be here. Maybe you aren't gonna meet her. You're gonna keep your money. Just be here. You wanna go home. When you go home, you have nothing to do. Yeah, the body will start shaking. You're gonna call, huh? Just be here, my friend. Don't worry. You aren't gonna die. Let's start with DHCP, right? Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. Myself to wanna go home, but I don't want. I don't want problems with my neighbors. No, my neighbors, you will never know, huh? Ish. Sometimes you can even, you can get food for free sometimes, you know, you can be lucky that day. Yeah. So just be here to avoid problems, right? Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. Remember, guys, how it stands for, all right? And DHCP, shortly, this is a protocol for assigning what? IP addresses automatically. Finished. I will. So guys, this is the job of DHCP. When you go to your router, your modem, whatever that you have, when you bring this DHCP off, means nobody will receive the IP. I can give you my Wi-Fi password. you are connected, but you cannot even be connected because there is no IP given. The only thing that can connect you is the IP address. So if from the router the IP is off, no getting the IP. Which port number for DHCP? Which number can DHCP port number? Yeah, so there are two types. So if DHCP will use UDP, we're talking about port 67. Right? But they are saying this one is on the server side, the 67, but on the client side, it's 68. Most of the questions, they will give you those two options. You're gonna see 67 and 68. Remember that those are the port number for the DHCP. You know that the way you're gonna block protocols from your modem, from your router, from your firewall, you're gonna block them sometimes by using the port number. So if you're gonna block this DHCP, you can only say 68 or 67, right? Means you are blocking the DHCP, right? From the device side, right? Or sometimes when those ports are off, you will have problems with the DHCP. What else we need? DNS. What DNS stand for? What DNS stand for, guys? What JHB stand for? Johannesburg, huh? It's fast. Domain name system. Memorize what will bring money. Don't memorize what will bring troubles. Right? Don't memorize what will bring trouble like in your life. Oh, what the guy said yesterday. He sent me the message. He said, it's over. But you even keep those messages. Take them out the same time and you forgot about it. He said it's over. We are breaking now. Hey, my heart is broken. Your heart is broken. We're gonna bury you if you're gonna make your heart being broken. DNS, domain name system. What does this protocol? Mapping the IP to domain name, right? Means this, guys. Suppose like my IP is this one, or maybe the IP address for gmail.com or whatever, right? You can just map it. You can say, okay, you go to your router, you said, okay, this IP address, this is gmail.com, right? This is gmail.com. So when somebody goes like to your browser, somebody can only type what? Gmail.com, and gmail.com will go to which computer? This computer. And you're gonna see your email will open, right? So because of DNS, you can map like an IP address to a domain name, right? Somebody can hack your devices, right? And map like fnb.com to its own computer, to its own IP. So when you go to like fnb.com, you don't go really to that particular website. You go to its own computer because it's mapping your domain name to its own IP, right? Like these computers there. You can change their directions. You can change some of the website. You can change the DNS. You map those computers to your own PC, the one you are sitting there, right? Whatever they can do, they can go, maybe they can go to google.com, but because you said like google.com map to this IP, it will go to your own website, right? So DNS just does the mapping an IP address to a domain name or the domain name to an IP address. Why? Because human beings, they cannot memorize the IP address. When you are telling someone that you are looking for FNB website, okay, take the IP address, 10.0.10.0. You understand? Normally, it's supposed to be like that. When somebody says, I want this website, that website is an IP address. But to avoid that, they say, okay, let's have a system that will map those IPs to domain names. Because users, they can memorize a domain name. So my mind, go to fnb.com. But in reality, it's an IP address. We cannot see that IP because of the DNS. The DNS does the job for us, right? And when you wanna check, I think it's 53 for DNS. DNS port number, so easy when you are reading at home, right? Make sure that when you are studying the protocols, you know what that protocol stands for, you know the meaning, and you know the port number, right? So it's port 53, right? So any computer knows like port 53, it's DNS. Okay, let's move forward and we can be done now. What am I looking for again? ICMP. Is a question on this one also, guys. This one means like internet control message protocol, right? This is the abbreviation of this ICMP, right? This one, you're gonna find it on layer 3. Layer 3, network layer, from the OSI model, it works there, right? And you're gonna use this one for what? For reporting. So this protocol does what? The reporting. Ish. What's happening now? I told you like a story that happened like in one of the country last week. So I don't want to tell you, right? That guy, the guy was working with the president, right? That guy was an advisor for the president, right? Now that guy was hacking those politicians' phones, like tablet and so on, their devices, right? That guy kept their sex tapes, right? Now, one day they arrested that guy. That guy was in jail for a year. That guy said, hey, man, you know what? You have to release me. So I got your sex tapes. So if you don't release me, so I will show you. They say, hey, we want proof. You want proof that I got it? He sent them one. They said, no, this one doesn't show like it's you who got it. He said, so you want to see my face too? The guy released some of the sex tapes that himself he was doing with their wives. This is the news for last week, like in that particular country. The advisor, the security advisor for the president, he released himself with those wives. They were doing their businesses, right? Now, you know what? By 6 p.m., when the guy said, guys, if you are playing, I will release for all of you. What they did now, they released him from the prison. They released him yesterday, right? You can have a man that you are dating. Be careful. The relationship will never go forever. The guy can keep your stuff. The guy will start using you. You're already married somewhere else. The guy says, hey, give me one once. If you refuse, I will release it to your husband. Be careful, people that you are meeting. Be careful of your information. Don't do anything. You wanna do your business, you ask, hey, where's your phone? Put it in your pocket. You see him touching the phone, you must ask, hey, why are you touching the phone? Because like today's picture, they don't ask you because they know you still kind of broke. After 10 years, like you will have a nice job. Those people now will come because they are tracking you. They say, Younger, remember, I have this. If you don't give me 2,000K, I will send it on social media. What you gonna do? You say, sorry. Especially when you're afraid of losing your marriage or whatever. What you gonna do? You're gonna give them, and that guy will start doing it for the whole life, right? Always be careful, right? Like me, when I have an appointment, myself face my own phone, I'm hiding. You to your own phone. When you are touching your phone, I'm asking you, hey, what's happened? Why are you touching your phone? No phone here. Put it somewhere. Yeah, no phone's my place. Yeah, no phone. You're playing with today's life. Eh? I gave you like the story of that guy out of the prison because like he got their own things out of the prison, right? And that guy's old, 57. Hey, people are so crazy. So ICMP, we are going to use it for what? For reporting, right? Like the error reporting, right? So, and we can use it also for, you can say like network diagnostic. Suppose like there is a problem when we are trying to communicate. Yeah, because of this protocol, those logs can be found, right? So if you are trying to understand why computers are not communicating, you always use what? Ping. But ping uses what? The ICMP protocol, right? There's ping, there's traceroute, right? The traceroute is one of the commands that uses what? ICMP, right? This one, when you wanna know the network path, and ping when you wanna know the host path or what happened with the host, you can go for ping. But traceroute will tell you the devices or networks between source and destinations. But remember the ICMP, we are going to use it for error reporting and for network diagnostics. And sometimes you can go further and check the ICMP port number, right? Always when you're studying, right? Yeah, there is no the port number on this one. Now we're gonna go for the last one. NTP. What NTP stands for? Don't cheat, guys. I know you are checking on the internet. Network time protocol, right? Hey, what's going on? You are happy, man, I can see. Don't eat the whole food yourself, eh? You can invite me to, I can come and, you know the story? We can be three, eh? You know the meaning of three. Yeah. Network time protocol. This one will be dealing with what? Synchronizing the time between hosts, right? You cannot use like your computer is 2 a.m., mine is 5 a.m. When there is a problem, right? We won't gonna really trace what was the real time. So this one will be dealing with what? Synchronization of time between hosts, right? Network time protocol. You can even have like a network time protocol saver that will be managing like the timing between your devices. right? So guys, I'm done with this part. We spoke about whatever that is here. I'm sure that you need only a few disciplines to read about this and to be ready. Network time protocol. It's for synchronization, for synchronizing the time between hosts, between devices, right? So we are done with, yes. We are done with 1.0 standard and concept. Now, tomorrow, we can go for 2.0, right? The addressing and subnet format, right? This one will take us the whole week. No, maybe 3 to 4 days, eh? Why you wanna finish it? Are you sure you're gonna understand all those things? There are lots. This IPv6, so many things there. Yeah. Subnet part, because I don't wanna jump fast, right? Because of the questions that will come. No, from tomorrow, yeah. We are starting here. I think next week, yeah, you cannot study the IPs without them. It's mandatory. I think this is the difficult part only. The other things stay the right? How can you identify those cabling and so on, right? So we're gonna do it like Thursday and Friday. Next week, Monday. I think 3 days is enough for us to cover 2.0. I'm sure like next week we are done also, we're gonna be done with 3.0 and we're gonna remain only with 4.0. So soon we are going to be done and go to the revision for CCNA. And that's one we are going to start jumping. When we reach like TCP, UDP, guys, you know already. So it's gonna be more faster and easy. Okay, thank you very much, guys. You can take your break.